What happens when you give a random 18-year-old African student the opportunity to study in America? He thinks he can change the world by making devlogs and streaming under the science and technology category on Twitch every day. What a weirdo, right? Okay, if you're new here, welcome. This is my YouTube channel where I'll basically just demonstrate and show everything that I learned during the week whilst on stream. If you want to see everything that I do live, go follow my Twitch channel. I'll probably have a link somewhere, like I'll show it on the screen somewhere, yeah. So today, basically, today's Monday by the way, and I basically watched a bunch of videos on modern physics. So what does modern physics have to do with electric fields and magnetic fields, electromagnetic fields and things of that nature? Basically, I don't know. It wasn't really a productive day. I just watched a bunch of videos on that throughout the whole stream. So if you want to watch the stream, you know, but yeah, it was a bad day. Monday, bad day. I will say it did help a lot. Like I feel like it really boosted my love for physics and stuff. So let's just hope that translates correctly, you know. It's also given me a bunch of ideas for innovations that I might pursue much later in the future. So, you know, if you follow along this journey, you might get to see that, hopefully.
3 days later.
Last week, this is a week later by the way, and last week I started working on the new area in my app that basically simulates magnetism around a bar magnet. And the cool thing about this is that the vectors are kind of used to mimic the iron filling classroom experiment that you might have seen before. So if you move the bar around the window, the vectors kind of act and move around the same way that those iron fillings would, but it's not really the same thing, if that makes sense. And I'll explain that as I go, so just pay attention. Okay, so to start, I basically just started by adding, you know, the window and Pygame. You know, you have to make the window, and I had to also import Pygame and, you know, do all the boring stuff. And then I also created the north and south pole on the bar, so it's like a, you know, red and blue and red or whatever it is. Okay, so this is probably the most complex part, so just bear with me, okay? So this is the physics engine or the magnetic field. I'm kind of reading off a screen here because I have a script, but yeah. So this function basically calculates the strength of the magnetic force at any point in the screen, right? And then what it does is it uses Coulomb's law of magnetism. I don't know if I said that right, but that basically states that the strength and the distance are inversely proportional. And when I was doing the math for this, I actually had a very interesting error. So I plugged it into AI, obviously, to fix it. And basically what the AI did is that it changed a part of the equation and made it so that r is r cubed rather than r squared. And at first I didn't really understand, but let me see if I can explain this in a way that's easy for you to understand. So essentially what it does is that the code multiplies the field strength by the normalized direction, and then when you combine those two, obviously it gives you r cubed. You'll probably see the equation somewhere here, and this basically allows us to avoid having to do, you know, two separate slow square root operations, which is what I was trying to do, which is not the best way to do it. So okay, so now this is where this project becomes mine, and this is basically how I made it into my own thing. So instead of drawing continuous lines like how a normal vector field would look like, what I did is I made it so that the grid basically places small, tiny iron filling needles, like how you would see in class, like that one physics class that you did, and it spaces them 15 pixels apart. So it kind of acts like that iron filling thing rather than just a normal vector field, if that makes sense. So basically for every single point, it calls on the magnetic, you know, strength physics function thing, and then it also normalizes the vector so that they're all like the same length and size, and then it just draws that tiny thing on the screen. And that, you know, it's just, you update the thing in the main loop, just put you make it draw the magnets, and then you do all that, you know, make it so that you can close the window, all that, you know, all that stuff, Pygame stuff. So that's basically the base of this endeavor, as one might say. Okay, so now if you look at how the program is now, which is a couple days later, there's a few changes. Okay, first of all, you notice that the vectors now rotate, or the iron fillings, they now rotate to where the magnet moves, and the magnet follows the cursor. Okay, the reason I did this is because I feel like it accurately represents both iron fillings and their behavior, as well as acting like a vector field, which is what I wanted. I wanted kind of like a hybrid between the two. And how the program achieves this is that it basically calculates the force in, like, in whatever direction it's being pulled in, and then it just rotates towards that direction without moving or changing positions. And the way it does this is that it just makes those calculations every frame. So basically every frame it's changing direction. If you're moving, it's recalculating everything and doing everything again. So it kind of looks like it's turning and stuff, but in reality it's just updating every frame technically. It just summarizes all the progress on the app for this week. Okay, I did do other stuff. So for the other stuff that I did this week, I basically made a circuit. I made a circuit that acts as a lock. Okay, and how this lock works is I made kind of like a quick one. It only uses 3 numbers, right? And the pin is 2 numbers long. Okay, and there's only 3 options. So basically if you pick only one, it will go red. Okay, if you pick 2, and let's say one of the 2, which shouldn't be hard, is right, then it will go green and red. But if you click, let's say you click both the correct numbers, then only green will light. You probably see like a demonstration right here, but yeah, I just did that just cause I thought it was fun. I did receive a lot of equipment, a lot of brand new stuff. You probably see a picture right here, just a lot of stuff that my teacher gave me, and I have a bunch of stuff coming on Monday. So I'll definitely start streaming more like circuit stuff and more like physical, engineering stuff rather than just programming now, because before I didn't have the equipment and now I do. So most of my streams will just be mostly that stuff and less of the app. My goal for the app is just to have it done by the end of the summer, so we're still on good timing. And yeah, so yep, hopefully see you guys again next weekend, and hopefully I'll be able to get a video up every weekend consistently rather than whatever I was doing before. I missed a weekend. Yes, my bad, but it's just cause a lot of things have changed. But yeah, okay, I appreciate you for watching the video. Be sure to keep stopping by and follow everything, Twitch, everything, TikTok, everything. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Be great, and I'll see you.
Yeah, boy!